So this doesn't worry, does it?
It's a little, no, it's fine.
This one you don't like as much?
No,
Okay.
I do not like that.
So we really want a reinforcing tape. I'm just having a little bit of a think about how we could do this. Okay, feel free to video or do whatever you like, but we may end up changing this taping procedure depending on what we think is going to be successful. Because we're really just trying to limit the anterior push. I might be able to make this a little bit easier than I think. So normally a tape job is anchor here, and we use reinforcing straps across the front of the shoulder.
Yeah.
We might end up doing that, but at this stage we may just try and use a smaller piece of tape. Okay, so once you're in that tall posture with your shoulder back a little bit. Okay, just hold nice and steady for me. How's the camera going, alright?
Did you remember to press record?
Can I give a shout out to my mum? What we're doing here is just applying an anchor, but using a bit of force as we pull back on that collarbone. Purely because as the collarbone pushes forward, it's what tends to agitate the problem. Okay, hold steady. So I'm getting just a little bit of counter pressure there. Tail up. Okay. I'm going to throw in my copyright comments.
Because you're filming doesn't mean you can't talk. You're not going to talk. Okay.
Okay, here we go. Just raise up for me as well. Yeah, I'll try and control it. See if we can create some pressure there. Okay, I'm going to assume from this that you're going to be able to make this pop, but I'm going to just do it one more layer and see what comes out of it. 2 layers should be enough if it's going to work. Do you feel downward pressure on your shoulder, or do you just feel stickiness?
No, it's pushing down.
Because I don't really want it forcing you that way. I kind of want it that way a little bit. Whether
It's not bad. It's just,
okay.
I feel better.
Just see if you can first of all just take your arm through a bit of range of motion, whether it feels off. Okay, good. And then back down. Don't do any out swings there. Can you push it forward and make it pop?
Yeah, just push down.
Okay. Without using you're not allowed to use your hand.
Oh.
Just through movement.
No.
Okay, good. So this might be enough. It just means that I'm not going to have to take you here.
Yeah.
I can reinforce it. What I could do is just briefly show you. Yeah, no, you're not allowed to try and agitate it too much. Okay, stop that. Okay, so if I wanted to, let's just tape it a bit beyond this, and I can always unpeel it, just for whoever's watching this. Hairs under there, just lift the arm up a little bit for me. Okay. Let's just it's good you could be my model. I'm going to give a whole lot of talks next year, so we can discuss a fee and my video model. Though no one will believe you probably have more than this is a shoulder injury. Should look a bit too strong for that. Okay, so tall posture again. Okay, good job. Try and just create some reinforcement over This might also be helpful because as you try and take your arm behind you, it's going to tug, and it's kind of a reminder not to do that. Didn't have a second piece, didn't I?
Maybe.
Think about how I want to do this dance, just shoulder. And the trick is also being able to do your exercises. So. The other thing is, when you're having a shower, this is going to be a little bit more of a pain than if it was just one strip and you can use a hairdryer and just dry it up as much as you can. The tape should stay on for about 3 days and then should probably start to come off.
Okay.
Particularly if your skin remains wet underneath, that's not a great thing to happen. So you really want to dry that tape as best as you can.
Okay.
Let's see, I'm just going to put one reinforcing strip here. Running out of video time, I'm assuming. Okay, just arm up a little.
What was that? That's it.
Not sure. Okay, that's my first part of that's bad taping right there.
So close.
Didn't quite make it. Okay, good tall body position again. So a big part of this is making sure you're in a good posture before you tape.
That's fine. Been busy this morning?
Really just trying to reinforce that front or anterior ligament. Does that feel too heavy?
No.
No, that's all right. Let's just anchor it down.
Yeah, so when you get off, you're gorgeous. No, it's great.
And
Oh, so you go up the mountain.
just flex for me.
Stay down.
Too tight. Does that
Oh,
feel
yeah,
too
so
tight?
we'd always be
Sorry.
way
It is
down
open,
grade,
so
Arthur Erickson.
yeah. Mistake number 2.
What?
Yes, what do you
I
take?
should have you flexing your arm when you do that.
Yeah, that's kind of thought of that.
Didn't want to interrupt the production days.
Points off.
2 points off, no flexing of the arm. Actually made it all the way around over the tape for a change.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Okay, so that's about as
Sweet.
it's kind of funky.
Yeah.
Looks pretty anyway.
Yeah.
Looks like you know,